This is very shocking. You need to listen to the whole thing. U.S. Deputy Trade Minister Rick Switzer talk about how Mark Carney, the Liberals, are doing political malpractice in their lack of negotiations with the U.S. on the most important trade agreement our country has. And you need to share it to all your friends and family who don't realize the impact and severity of this trade negotiation. 1 in 6 jobs in Canada.
I think having some discipline on reminding folks how valuable it is, there really is no other choice. What I'll say is that the countries that are led by serious leaders, and I'll say President Sheinbaum is a serious leader in Mexico. When we came in and we were talking, Ambassador Greer was just there, we're talking to Mexico about this, and the president has spoken to, directly about this. They've been very serious. Look, we know the United States is our most important economic partner, that it is the policy of President Sheinbaum that the United States and Mexico will have a positive economic relationship, and that we know that we'll have some friction and we'll have to figure it out, but we're going to figure it out, right? This is the bottom line. There are other economies who decided to make it personal, I think Carney has made it personal. I think it's political malpractice for the Prime Minister of a Canadian, of Canada to pit politically himself against any president. I don't care what the president is, who the president is, what party they represent. It's political malpractice. Canada is dependent upon the U.S. economy. That's just a fact, right? That's not hubris. That's not something that Canada needs to be concerned about. It's not something Canada can change, right? The fundamental fact is geography wins out. Canada is located where it's located. They can't move shop. They can have a weak economy that is underperforming and not doing well, and Carney can feel superior, or they can have an economy that participates as a partner of the U.S. economy, and Carney can do what a grown-up should do, which is figure it out, and come like President Sheinbaum and decide that the United States and Canada will have a positive economic relationship. It's my job as a person who's supposed to protect Canadian jobs, Canadian citizens, and the Canadian economy to not let my ego and my feelings dictate what's best for my own economy.
That's a very powerful statement. Do you think that this will have implications for USMCA, for the negotiations between the U.S., Mexico, and Canada?
Yeah, of course it is. Just can't, right? Not like, look, was Ambassador Greer in Canada? Did he meet with Carney? No. Was he in Mexico on Monday? Did he meet with President Sheinbaum? Yes. We have issues with Mexico we're still working through, but Mexico intends on coming to an agreement with us. We intend on coming to agreement with them. The grown-ups are in the room talking because there's a grown-up in the presidency in leadership there, and I would argue there's not a grown-up in Canada in charge there. You don't go out of your way to antagonize the leader of the country that you are absolutely existentially tied to. It's just political malpractice.